So, you guys, this is Game Shakers episode 9. You bet your bunny. I'm getting tired of this show. I'm gonna keep going, obviously, because there's gonna be. This is episode 9, and there's 26 episodes in this season, or that's what I hear there's gonna be. So that means after this one, 17 more to go, and we're not even well, we're halfway there now, but at the same time, it's it's gonna be some time before we get there. So this episode involves they're having a tournament at Game Shakers, involving the unveiling of their new, an updated version they've made of Skywhale. And well, the last episode, Lost in the Subway, was not really bad, but at the same time, it was just meh. Pretty much all the way through, it was just meh. There was nothing really offensive in it. This one teeters on meh and ugh. So it's not as bad as it's not nearly as bad as Dirty Blob and Scared Trip. No, Trip Steals the Jet and Scared Triplets and Trip Steals the Jet were. So yeah, there's that. But at the same time, still, this is not a good show. It's just not. So they're having a tournament at Game Shakers, and what happens is there's this really obnoxious, douchey kid who ends up winning, and ends up dominating, and then Babe, she also ends up he beats Hudson, and then Babe, she beats somebody else, and there's a really odd and weird delivery from this girl who gets really upset that she's been beaten, and so then that means Babe and this kid Todd, they're gonna face each other in the final tournament, in the final battle. They got everybody there by saying that Double G was gonna be there, but Dub, he gets there about 2 hours 11 minutes late. So he's only there for the last one, and then he has the audacity to ask afterwards, "Is it over yet?" Cal Mitchell, he does admittedly have some good deliveries in this episode, and then there was, basically what happens is to make the bet more interesting, Babe bets if she beats Todd, then they have to get footage of him on the subway wearing nothing but his underwear. Thank God that doesn't come to fruition in this episode, because, oh boy. And he bets them that if he wins, he gets Bunny. Or actually first, he wants Kenzie's ferret that she found, or whatever it is, or weasel. She refuses to bet it, and so then Dub instead bets Bunny, that he gets Bunny to do whatever he wants with him if he wins. And sure enough, Dub in a massive an obnoxious panic constantly badgers and yells at Babe when they're playing the games, but then, and as a result, she ends up losing. So then the kid gets Babe, and the kid gets Kenzie, and so then, and I'm just realizing now just how weird a name that is, Babe. And Hudson, oh my God. You thought Hudson was stupid before. He's even stupider in this episode. He gets one funny moment in the episode, admittedly, when he's there's a bear that escaped from the zoo is on the loose, and they haven't found him yet. And then it kind of leads to a bit of a funny gag in which Dub zaps Bunny with the with this bear tranquilizer or something, an electric bear tranquilizer, and so then and he collapses to the ground. You know what? I think Bunny, even though he's astronomically stupid, he's the least offensive of the two bodyguards. Because, yeah, he's dumb, but at the same time, Ruthless is a double is a double threat. He's not only dumb, but he yells everything he says every single second! As you can see. If you haven't seen the show already, which I don't blame you if you haven't. And so what happens then is it's pretty much... What happens is at some point, most of everything that Hudson says this episode, like, he's loving the fact that he's losing, even though he doesn't realize that, like, yeah, you don't want to lose when you're playing a game or something. Just when I think the show can't go any lower, just when I think Schneider's Bakery can't go any lower, it does. And what happens that the funniest thing is he has a bottle of honey around his neck in order to keep away the bear. And he said, but bears love honey. His response, then I made a terrible mistake. Admittedly, that got a chuckle out of me. There were a couple things in this episode that got a chuckle out of me, but they were so far and few removed from everything else that they're not even things worth remembering, really. And they don't really stand out all that much. Oh, admittedly, the part where when they get him to rematch, they got Todd to get into a rematch. Oh, and he has Bunny doing everything he wants now, and Bunny is just absolutely hating it because he's like degrading Bunny in every way. It's like in Dungeon Dice Monsters, that 4-part special of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where they had Duke, by some crazy chance, although sort of because Joey let his guard down, ends up beating him in a duel, and then he has to be a servant for a week. He forces him to sit down to wear a dog costume and act like a dog. It's kind of like that. So what happens next is they get him to agree to a rematch of Sky Whale, under the circumstances that, like, he wins. If they win, they get Bunny back. He wins, he gets Kenzie's ferret. So they get there, but then he refuses to agree to the rematch of Sky Whale, and instead wants to have a chicken fight. Why? I don't know. I really don't. And after, so what happens is they have to use the bear sticks during the chicken fight. So they sure enough do, in which he's sitting on Bunny's shoulders and Kenzie is sitting on Dobbs. Admittedly, there is another funny gag in this moment where, well, actually two funny gags. You have Dub tied up with tape to a chair and with mouth over his mouth, so that way, like, when they think they're going to be rematching with Sky Whale, he can't yell in Baby's ear and distract her. And so then, like, he's yelling at, like, Ruthless, and Ruthless is like, I'm sorry, Dub, I can't hear you! I chuckled at that. Even though I think Ruthless is one of the stupidest characters on the show. He's worse than Hudson, because, yes, Hudson is consistently moronic. This guy is just... Hudson has two bad character traits. He's extremely stupid, and he has that very annoying laugh. Ruthless are that he is not only stupid, but he screams everything at the top of his lungs. Just like this! So that gets really old really fast. And so my thoughts are this, that what makes the better... I think that, sure enough, they do end up beating him, and they get Bunny back. And they treat it like this is a really bad and sad thing, and, like, I don't care. I mean, I'm not like loving it because I don't really like these characters, but I'm not invested. I'm just, and they're treating it like it's a really big deal. You're on episode 9. All right? They're just cranking these out on an assembly line now. Now, granted, like, none of these episodes I've seen are anywhere near as bad as the worst ever that Schneider's Bakery has ever given us. And you know what? Even though they appear on Bottom of the Bakery, the two Sam and Cat episodes, hashtag Super Psycho and hashtag Blue Dog Soda, they're among the only episodes of the show that are not bad. I wouldn't go as far as to say any episode of Sam and Cat is a good episode, but there are 4 episodes that are meh, and the rest are scum. Alright? Can't say ScumBob because it's not SpongeBob. They're scum. Sam and Cat is scum. This show is scum too, but it's not nearly, for the most part, but it's not scum so much as, it's not skim and scat. Like he called it in the original pilot, Pie Guy Rules. This show's bad, but it's not anywhere near as bad. Like I've said, the show's bad, but it's nowhere near the same level of bad as Sam and Cat. Because it's just dull for the most part. In fact, a few of these episodes have been meh. Like Lost on the Subway was just meh. The original pilot, even though it was Skywell, even though it was on Bottom of the Bakery, it was just meh to me. So my thoughts are that, and yeah, we get another funny gag where Dub is sitting on Babe's shoulders instead of the other way around, and she looks like she's gonna collapse at any second. Admittedly, another gag, but like I said, it's just a series of dead spots throughout the show where I was just wondering why they were going this direction, why they were thinking, and they're all horrified and shocked, and they're all gonna cry when like they think they gotta give back Bunny, they gotta give him Bunny, or when they do have to give him Bunny, and yeah, also him having to clean his between his toes, and also the fact that he has to go around on roller skates and do his things for him, as well as like when he brings him a large drink instead of a medium, and then he comes back with the right drink, but then slips on the skates and crashes into the lockers. Yeah, I'm not laughing at this. I don't know why this is funny. Nobody else finds it funny either. So, that's it for this one, you guys. Can't go over 15 minutes because even though I can now, if you've seen Doug Rucker's What the Hell YouTube videos, gotta play it safe and not go too far over the limit. Give YouTube an excuse to target my account. So, there you have it, you guys. 3 more episodes and we're halfway through the series. Halfway through the first season, anyway. I wonder if this show's getting renewed for a second. I hope not. Because I just really need them to send the message to Dan Schneider. He cannot just lazily avoid putting in the effort anymore. Now, granted, I don't know Dan Schneider, and I don't know how his company works anymore. But at the same time, they're showing they're far better. They've shown in the past they're better than this. And yet they don't seem to care anymore. Much like Adam Sandler doesn't seem to care anymore. He just does what he does to make money. He does what he does to have his glamorous lifestyle. Because, like I said, you saw his pictures at the Pixels premiere. He was just very weary of it all. So next video I'll tackle some stuff about the upcoming KCAs. What my thoughts are on the nominees. I haven't tackled the KCAs in the past, but I figured I'm due because Pie Guy Rules, he keeps up with the KCAs he mentioned in one episode, so I do that too because I'm fascinated to see how kids how things stay current with kids, and I might tackle that a bit more in the next one on Game Shakers. Although, you get the idea. Catch you guys on the flip side.